Steelers dominate Browns and soar in the North Division. Hey Steelers fan, stop everything and feel that warm rush in your chest that only football brings on pure rivalry days. Imagine the Acrisure Stadium packed to the brim, with 65,000 voices roaring in unison, the chilly Pittsburgh air cutting through your skin, and the clock ticking like a time bomb ready to explode in glory or heartbreak. It's that anticipation that has you biting your nails, firing off texts in the fan group chat during every timeout, and praying to the black and gold heavens that your team doesn't trip over a dumb mistake. You know that ride? That emotional roller coaster where one good play sends you to the top of the world, and one bad one drops you into the abyss? Well, buddy, the NFL's in that wild vibe in Week 6, with teams scrapping for every yard like it's their last breath of the season, and divisional games turning into civil wars where no one forgives. The AFC North is boiling like a pressure cooker, with rivals poking each other since training camp, and every win is a gut punch to the neighbor. Hold on, because there's a game that went down today that's got the Steelers Nation in ecstasy, but with one foot on the brake for what's ahead, and the details will glue you to the screen until that imaginary final whistle. Now, take a deep breath, diehard fan, because the Steelers have this habit of making us suffer before handing over the gold. Gritty wins that turn into legends, but always with a hint of what if? Head coach Mike Tomlin, that tactical genius who seems to read rivals' minds, sets up the team like a deadly chess match, blending explosive offense with a defense that bites like a pit bull. Lately, the win streak's filling the confidence tank, after a September that shook the foundations with injuries and tight games that tested everyone's soul. The fanbase, that black and gold horde that paints the whole city Steelers fever, packs the bars, the streets and social media, debating lineups like it's the fate of the universe. And the veteran quarterback, oh man, he's on the back nine of his career but plays with rookie hunger, threading passes that defy physics and leaving rival defenders eating dust. But what if the attack soars high and the D crushes without mercy? What if the rival, that Cleveland squad that always shows up thirsty for revenge, just crumbles like a house of cards? The vibe was electric before kickoff, with predictions split on podcasts and forums, some betting on an upset, others on total domination. The division's wide open like a fresh wound, with Ravens and Bengals lurking, and a win today could be the springboard to playoffs or just another slippery step. Stay locked, because what went down on the field was one of those dominations that has us rewinding highlights on YouTube all night. Here comes the boom fan. The Pittsburgh Steelers crushed the Cleveland Browns 23-9, in a display that was pure control from start to finish, notching their third straight win and climbing to 4-1 on the season, while the Browns sink to 1-5 in the AFC North. It was at Acrisure Stadium, with the sun shining and the crowd roaring, and the offense led by Aaron Rodgers, that 41-year-old wizard who doesn't seem to age, going 21 of 30 for 235 yards and 2 touchdowns that shook the stadium. Jaylen Warren owned the ground with 52 yards on 11 carries, grinding out tough first downs like Stone, and DK Metcalf, the wideout who came from Seattle to light it up, hauled in 4 catches for 95 yards and a TD that sealed the show. The defense? A beast, 6 sacks total, with Nick Herbig grabbing 2 and turning into the rival QB's nightmare. But it wasn't all perfect. Joey Porter Jr., the corner who returned from injury after 3 games, left twice on the final drive with a suspected concussion, leaving a bitter taste and worry for the medical staff that'll evaluate him tomorrow. For the Browns, the young Dylan Gabriel, 24 and in his second start, struggled hard, 29 of 52 for 221 yards, 0 TDs, and 6 sacks that killed drives, while rookie RB Quinton Judkins managed just 36 yards on 12 tries, shut down after hot weeks. Harold Fannin, the rookie tight end, was the bright spot with 7 grabs for 81 yards, but it wasn't enough to flip the script. Let's break down the game play by play, because every drive was a masterclass in dominating a rivalry. It kicked off on the first snap. Rodgers beats a fierce Browns blitz and hits Darnell Washington for a 36-yard strike that had the foot in the door for a field goal, but the drive stalled there with just one more first down, and Chris Boswell, the ice-veined kicker, nailed it from 44 yards to open 3-0 right away, silencing any upset dreams. Punt exchange, and the Steelers go pure ground and pound. Warren and Caleb Johnson rumble like tanks, piling up short but steady yards, setting up Boswell for a 50-yard boot he drills like clockwork, making it 6-0 and showing the run game was locked down. Tomlin's D forces a quick 3-and-out, and Rodgers is back, a gorgeous 20-yard sideline dart to Metcalf burning the coverage, followed by a 12-yard catch-and-run with Washington that plants the ball in enemy territory. Boswell caps it with 48 yards, 9-0, and the first quarter ends with the Browns choking. They scrape back barely, Gabriel zips short to dodge sacks, and Andre SCM Whitey drills 31 yards for 9-3 at halftime, but the tone was set. Pittsburgh owned the clock with 62% time of possession in the second half and 18 first downs to the rivals' 12. Halftime return, and the Steelers floor it, another Browns 3-and-out, followed by a grotesque error. Cameron Thomas roughs the punter Corliss Whiteman, giving new life to the home team. They don't waste it, Perfect play action. Rodgers rolls right out of the pocket, improvises, and nails Metcalf wide open for 25 yards into the red zone. Warren pushes Moore with an 8-yard burst, and the QB finishes with another genius roll, against his body, to Connor Hayward in the corner of the end zone. 12-yard touchdown, 16-3, and the stadium erupts like it's the Super Bowl. The Browns try to fire back with a quick drive. Whitey hits 53 yards for 16-6, but the Steelers slam the brakes. Blistering drive mixing runs and short passes, getting near the red zone where Metcalf torches Tyson Campbell on a deep route, breaks completely free, and hauls in a 25-yard TD from Rodgers, 23-6, and the game turns into a stroll. The Browns' best shot came late. They reached the 3-yard line, but Herbig's brutal sack on Gabriel after a blitz kills the dream. Whitey kicks the field goal for 23-9, and the whistle blows with total Steelers control, racking up 385 offensive yards to the rivals' 289, no turnovers, and minimal penalties of 45 yards against 65. The fallout from this win? Huge fan. It's like injecting pure adrenaline into the franchise's veins. The Steelers now lead the AFC North at 4-1, their first 3-game streak in 2025, and Rodgers' attack, hitting 68% completions with 2 TDs and a 110 rating sans picks, proves the vet's still the guy to carry them in the playoffs. He said post-game, "I still feel the fire, and that's what matters." While Metcalf's at 512 yards on the year as the top target, turning that summer trade into pure gold. Warren and Johnson combined for 85 rushing yards, balancing the air game at 235 yards, and Tomlin's D is a monster with 24 sacks on the season, league leaders, thanks to blitz packages that Herbig, the Wisconsin rookie, executes like a vet. But Porter Jr.'s concussion stings. The 23-year-old CB, key in the secondary, left twice at the end and could miss games, evaluation tomorrow, and without him versus the Bengals, Burrow's air raid becomes a real threat. For the Browns, it's crisis, 1-5 worst in the division, with Gabriel taking 12 sacks on the year and Stefanski ripping the D that allowed 400 total yards. Judkins faded after 100-plus yard games, but Fannin steps up as a modern TE with sure hands. Next up, Steelers at Cincy Thursday 16, for a shot at 5-1 against revamped Bengals. Browns host Dolphins Sunday 19, in a fire test for Gabriel. Widening the lens on what this means in the crazy NFL of 2025, without veering off track, the Steelers overcame their 2-3 September with injuries that tested depth. Rodgers healthy now, O-line protecting like a wall, and Tomlin adjusting on the sideline with surgical calm, praising post-game total control, but eyes on the next. The stats scream: 32 minutes time of possession to 28, runs with 112 yards to 68, and in the third quarter Hayward's TD flipped it all with a 12-yard play exploiting a mismatch. Social media's blowing up with hashtag Steelers win trending, sack memes and Metcalf TD clips going viral, while Pittsburgh's fanbase, that city that breathes football, paints the streets black and gold, hashing it out in bars if this streak lands them divisional playoffs. Browns rue errors like the lost snap and Thomas's flag, with Stefanski saying mistakes cost big in this league, and the 2025 draft hasn't paid off yet. Second-round Judkins with upside, but heavy pressure shuts him down. The Acrisure packed with 65K chanted "Here we go" the whole game, and Tomlin cracked a rare smile in the presser, firing up one win at a time. For the fan who wakes early for work but dreams of the Lombardi at night, this is fuel. Pride in seeing eternal Rodgers, Metcalf torching DS, and the defense chomping rival QBs, but Porter's injury worries because the secondary's the Achilles heel against air attacks like the Bengals. Picture Thursday in Cincy, bright lights, Burrow back from mystery, and a win that strings 4 straight, could be the turning point to 10-7 or better. Browns at home versus speedy Dolphins with Tua, rebound shot, but if Gabriel flubs under pressure, the bench calls. The league's full of surprises. Week 6 showed with upsets elsewhere, but for the Steelers it's time to cash in. And now, black and gold fan, let's get to what really matters. What do you think happens in this whole streak? Do the Steelers notch that 4th win against the Bengals on Thursday, using today's dominance as the base to soar in the division and playoffs with Rodgers still shining, or does the Cincy rival, with sharp Burrow and packed house, slam the brakes and turn this into a stumble that hurts? And on Porter Jr., you think he bounces back quick and bolsters the secondary for the stretch run, or does the concussion turn into a bigger issue, forcing patches that cost big yards? Spill it all in the comments. Buddy, your take is what makes this nation pulse, because in the end, it's the fans carrying the team on their backs, yelling "Here we go" even on the bad days. I'm dying to read your views, memes and predictions for Cincy, because debating this is what binds us as Steelers family. Hit me, no holds barred, divisional title coming or just a pipe dream? Let's go.